Hi, my name is Donna Grogan. I am the Chief Medical Officer at Clementia. I'm here to describe to you some key design features of the MOVE study, our Phase 3 confirmatory trial.
Dr. Grogan, what is the MOVE trial?
The MOVE trial is a global, multi-center, open-label, Phase 3 confirmatory clinical study of palovarotene in Fibrodysplasia Ossificans Progressiva, or FOP, that is anticipated to enroll approximately 80 adults and children aged 4 years or older. All subjects will take palovarotene every day for 2 years, with higher doses administered during times of flare-ups, to determine whether this dosing regimen of palovarotene reduces the formation of new heterotopic ossification relative to untreated subjects. The MOVE trial will evaluate the safety and efficacy of palovarotene in FOP and complete the data package to be used in global regulatory applications for national approvals for palovarotene as a treatment in children and adults with FOP. We encourage you to speak to your physician and one of the study physicians for the MOVE trial regarding your potential enrollment in MOVE. You will also find more information on the MOVE trial on the clinicaltrials.gov website.
What is palovarotene?
Palovarotene is an investigational medicinal product that Clementia is developing as an orally administered treatment for FOP. Individuals with FOP have a mutated receptor in the bone morphogenetic protein pathway that becomes overactive and sends signals that bring about the formation of heterotopic ossification. Palovarotene, a retinoic acid receptor gamma agonist, also called RAR gamma, is thought to prevent HO due to its disruption of these signaling systems in the BMP pathway. Now, preclinical studies in mouse models of FOP demonstrated that palovarotene blocked both injury-induced and spontaneous HO, maintained mobility, and normalized skeletal growth. Phase 2 clinical dose ranging for palovarotene has been completed. In the preliminary data analysis, over 95% reduction of new HO formation was observed in those subjects receiving daily palovarotene with an increased dose during a flare-up, compared to untreated or placebo-treated subjects. The Phase 3 MOVE trial is being conducted to confirm these findings. Palovarotene has been studied in over 800 humans, including healthy volunteers, people with emphysema, and individuals with FOP. Consistent with other retinoids, side effects involving the skin and mucous membranes, like the lining inside of your nose and mouth, include dry skin, dry lips, itching, rash, redness, mouth sores, and hair loss, have been reported at a higher rate in subjects treated with palovarotene compared to those treated with placebo or a sugar pill. In general, the number, intensity, and duration of these side effects increased with increasing palovarotene dose. Most of these events were mild or moderate in severity and generally resolved or improved after treatment with skin lubricants, lip balms, antihistamines, or, if necessary, decreasing the dose of palovarotene. Palovarotene has received fast-track and breakthrough therapy designation from the US FDA and orphan designations for the treatment of FOP from both the US FDA and the European Medicines Agency.
What is an orphan designation?
Palovarotene's orphan designation was granted by the US FDA and the European Medicines Agency in recognition that FOP is a rare, severely debilitating disease which currently lacks effective treatment. More information can be found on both the US FDA and the EMA websites.
What is a fast-track designation?
Palovarotene's fast-track designation was granted based on the US FDA's recognition of the serious nature of FOP and the potential that palovarotene could be beneficial in treating this disease. More information on Fast Track designation can be found at the US FDA website.
What is a breakthrough therapy designation?
Breakthrough therapy is granted by the US FDA when preliminary clinical evidence indicates that the drug may demonstrate substantial improvement over available therapy on a clinically significant endpoint. Palovarotene designation was granted after the evaluation of the preliminary Phase 2 data by the US FDA. The primary intent of breakthrough designation is to develop the data needed to support approval as efficiently as possible. More information on breakthrough designation can be found at the US FDA website.
What is the natural history study?
Clementia's natural history study is an observational study that enrolled 114 FOP patients across the world. Subjects are evaluated annually for 3 years, with more frequent visits during a flare-up. The purpose of the natural history study is to understand the relationship between new bone formation and clinical measures of physical function and quality of life, and to monitor disease progression over time.
What were the Phase 2 studies?
Clementia's Phase 2 studies were interventional studies that evaluated 4 dosing regimens of palovarotene on several endpoints. The initial Phase 2 study was an adaptive, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. Subjects who completed the Phase 2 study had an option to enroll in an extension study. Part A of the extension continued the evaluation of the initial episodic dosing regimen, in which the dosing of palovarotene was started within 7 days of a flare-up and continued for 6 weeks. In Part B, introduced a chronic dosing regimen in which palovarotene was taken daily and then given in higher doses at the time of a flare-up.
What were the preliminary results of the Phase 2 program?
The full analysis of the Phase 2 program has not been completed, and the Part B extension is still ongoing. However, we observed from the pooled results of episodic 6-week treatment with 10 milligrams for 2 weeks, followed by 5 milligrams for 4 weeks, in 47 flare-ups, that palovarotene, relative to untreated flare-ups, reduced the percentage of subjects who developed heterotopic ossification by approximately 45% and decreased the volume of HO in those who formed HO by approximately 75%. Preliminary data analysis from the Part B extension study indicates that chronic dosing regimen of palovarotene with increased dosing at the time of a flare-up is even more effective in suppressing HO, showing greater than 95% reduction in HO volume when compared to untreated flare-ups. It is these data that support evaluating this dosing regimen in the Phase 3 confirmatory clinical study that is known as the MOVE trial.
What is the purpose of the Phase 3 confirmatory MOVE trial, and what are the clinical endpoints?
The MOVE trial is a global, multi-center, single treatment arm, Phase 3 confirmatory clinical study in approximately 80 adults and children with FOP over the age of 4 years old. It is designed to evaluate whether an everyday dosing regimen of palovarotene, combined with higher doses during times of flare-ups, will reduce the formation of new heterotopic ossification relative to the normal course of the disease. As a confirmatory study, the MOVE trial will evaluate the safety and efficacy of palovarotene in FOP for purposes of informing global regulatory applications for approval. The primary endpoint is the annualized change in new heterotopic ossification volume as measured by whole-body computed tomography, whole-body CT scan. Secondary endpoints include the proportion of subjects with any new HO, the change in the number of body regions with new HO, the proportion of subjects reporting flare-ups, and the flare-up rate per subject month exposure. As a single treatment arm study, every subject will receive palovarotene over the full course of the study. There is no placebo group. The control group, however, will be the data obtained from Clementia's natural history study. As a global multi-center study, the MOVE trial will be conducted at many sites across the world. Each site must obtain all relevant approvals from national and local authorities, so the sites will be open for enrollment at different times. Please check the website clinicaltrials.gov for the latest on the MOVE trial sites.
How long will the MOVE trial last?
The MOVE trial is designed for 2 years of treatment. That is, enrolled subjects will receive treatment with palovarotene for 2 years.
Who can participate in the MOVE trial?
The MOVE trial will enroll male and female subjects who are at least 4 years old, who weigh at least 10 kilograms, and have a clinical diagnosis of FOP. Due to the R206H ACVR1 mutation, and who live in a country where a MOVE trial clinical site is located. 4 weeks must have elapsed since the end of the last flare-up before enrollment. Also, those of childbearing age must be willing to comply with certain criteria that your principal investigator will explain. Additional exclusion criteria regarding medical history, medication use, allergies, and laboratory values are available at the website clinicaltrials.gov. Subjects participating in Clementia's natural history study who meet the enrollment criteria can enroll into the MOVE study.
Why is it necessary to live within a country that is hosting a MOVE trial site?
As an investigational product, palovarotene can only be administered to human subjects under special authorization by the national authorities within each country. Participants must live in a country in which the national authorities have approved the clinical trial investigating palovarotene's use for FOP. This authorization is necessary to import palovarotene into a country and to perform the necessary safety home assessments within that country. Please review the website clinicaltrials.gov for the most current information on clinical trial sites and enrollment criteria.
Where are the targeted MOVE trial sites?
We anticipate the MOVE trial will be conducted at 20 sites in 16 different countries across the world. Each site must apply for national and local approvals. The application and approval process may take more time in some places, leading to some study sites enrolling into the trial before other sites are ready. As soon as a site is ready to enroll, Clementia will update the list on clinicaltrials.gov and will communicate this information to the FOP community.
What if a subject enrolled in the MOVE trial experiences side effects to the treatment?
Side effects are very carefully monitored throughout the study. Any subject who experiences a side effect during the trial will be evaluated by the principal investigator and site staff and treated appropriately. In addition, the study physicians may decrease the dose of palovarotene or temporarily or permanently stop the drug treatment altogether. All subjects have the option to stop their participation in the study at any time. Known potential side effects will be described in the informed consent, which is a detailed document that is discussed during a meeting with the study physician, the clinical study staff, and the prospective subject during the enrollment evaluation. This is an opportunity to discuss any questions regarding the MOVE trial, including any potential health risks.
Why were whole-body CT scans chosen to measure heterotopic ossification in the MOVE trial?
Information obtained from Clementia's natural history study demonstrated that whole-body CT scan is a very sensitive imaging modality that can document the presence and the amount of both existing and new heterotopic ossification. In the MOVE trial, the whole-body CT scans will be done at baseline and every 6 months during the 2-year period. By using this modality at regular intervals, it decreases the burden on study subjects as they do not need to travel to the clinical site at the time of a flare-up.
How is MOVE different from the previous studies?
The MOVE trial is a Phase 3 confirmatory clinical study that was developed based on information obtained from Clementia's Phase 2 program and the natural history study. Its goal is to determine whether palovarotene can safely prevent or minimize new heterotopic ossification. The MOVE trial incorporates the following changes compared to the Phase 2 program. The MOVE trial does not require a placebo group. All subjects will receive treatment with palovarotene. 2, the MOVE trial uses chronic dosing for palovarotene with increased dosing at the time of a flare-up in all subjects, both children and adults. This dosing regimen provided the best efficacy in the Phase 2 program. 3, the MOVE trial enrolls subjects at their usual state of health and not at the time of a flare-up. 4, the MOVE trial does not require a visit to the clinical study site at the time of a flare-up. 5, the MOVE trial is using more clinical trial sites worldwide than previous studies. Only patients living in a country that has a MOVE trial clinical study site can participate.
Are subjects who participated in the Phase 2 program able to enroll in the MOVE study?
No, the enrollment into the MOVE trial is limited to subjects who have not participated previously in one of the palovarotene treatment trials. However, the ongoing Phase 2 open-label study has been amended so that all subjects, including children, can receive the chronic flare-up dosing regimen and will no longer need to travel to the clinical site at the time of a flare-up. The efficacy will be determined by whole-body CT scan. Subjects participating in Clementia's natural history study who meet the enrollment criteria can participate in the MOVE trial.
Why is a placebo not being used in the MOVE trial?
All subjects in the MOVE trial will receive palovarotene, as this is a single treatment arm study. Placebo will not be used in this trial. Good scientific and medical research requires a control group for comparison with the active treatment group. This is often accomplished through the use of a placebo control group. However, in certain situations, regulatory authorities allow data from other sources to be used in place of a placebo group. Given the serious and devastating effects of HO for individuals with FOP, and Clementia's existing well-designed and comprehensive natural history study that yielded important information on the natural course of FOP in untreated subjects, relevant regulatory authorities determined that data obtained from subjects in Clementia's natural history study can serve as the appropriate control for the MOVE trial.
What is the dosing for palovarotene in the MOVE trial, and how does this compare with previous studies?
Our Phase 2 program was designed to inform the optimal palovarotene dosing regimen that would then be further evaluated in the MOVE trial. This is the Phase 3 confirmatory clinical study for palovarotene and FOP. In the Phase 2 program, we studied 4 different dosing regimens that included flare-up only, as well as chronic and flare-up dosing schedules. The Phase 2 results to date have demonstrated that palovarotene, when dosed chronically at 5 milligrams once a day, with dosing increased to 20 milligrams once daily for 4 weeks, followed by 10 milligrams once daily for 8 weeks during an active flare-up, provides the optimal dosing for preventing or minimizing new heterotopic ossification relative to untreated controls. The dose is adjusted for weight in children who are still growing.
How do I get to the clinical study site? Will my travel costs be reimbursed?
Clementia has hired a travel service agent that is specialized in assisting with clinical studies. All reasonable costs associated with participating in the study will be paid for by Clementia, including travel and accommodations for you and a caregiver. Travel to the investigational site is expected once every 6 months for examinations and assessments, with home assessments performed between clinic visits.
Will participants in the MOVE trial be able to receive their usual care?
Yes, although the clinical study protocol does not allow some medications because of the potential interactions with palovarotene. It is permissible to use standard of care FOP treatments like prednisone, nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory medications, and oxygen, for instance. The clinical study personnel will discuss this information with you during the screening process. As skin and mucous membrane reactions are the most common side effects associated with palovarotene, specific information about ways to minimize or treat these potential side effects will be provided to each study participant.
Are there potential risks of administering palovarotene to children who are still growing?
The process by which palovarotene prevents heterotopic ossification may also impact long bones of growing children. Monitoring of the growth plate and linear growth in children has not demonstrated treatment-related effects of palovarotene following flare-up-based dosing to date. As palovarotene will be administered daily with higher doses during a flare-up, all subjects enrolled into the trial who are 18 years or less and who are still growing will have x-rays of the knee and hand wrist performed every 6 months to monitor for potential treatment-related effects.
If I do not qualify for the MOVE trial, is there any other way to get treated with palovarotene?
At present, the only way to obtain palovarotene is as a subject in the MOVE trial. We are evaluating options for making palovarotene available outside of a clinical study, and we'll let the community know when that happens and under what circumstances. In conclusion, we'd like to thank you for your interest in our palovarotene development program for FOP. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to all of the study participants who have given so much of their time and effort these past few years. For their families and caregivers without whom none of this would have been possible. For the FOP community at large, who have been so supportive of our program over the years. For all the researchers who have worked so diligently to understand FOP and continue to do so. For those clinicians who have helped us obtain this data and who care tirelessly for patients with FOP. And for the clinical site personnel. Without all of you, none of this would have been possible. We look forward to our continued collaboration over the years. Thank you.